And we'll see the fancy live right there. And good morning, everyone. And welcome to Fight Club. It's Tuesday.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Good morning. Welcome back to Fight Club, everyone. We're the show for home service business experts looking to improve their marketing, finance, systems, and culture. And we're super excited this week to be joined by our guest, Aaron. And I would love, Aaron, if you could just give everyone a brief rundown of yourself and your business so we can get to know you a little bit better.
All right. My name is Aaron Gaynor. I'm the owner of Eco Plumbers out of Columbus, Ohio. I'm a plumber by trade. I've been in the industry since 1997 when I graduated high school, and that's 2 decades now. So it's long time. Background, we're $30 million plumbing only trade right now, and we're expanding into Dayton area, which is a little west of Columbus right now, and we're looking to add HVAC into next year, and our next year goal is going to be a little over 40 million. So that's our growth plan right now. So
wow,
excited to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to share some of my story and hopefully learn something obviously along the way too, and hopefully inspire some people to do some great things. I got a chance to meet Megan at an event, I think maybe less than a month ago now. I don't know, roughly about a month ago. We both spoke at an event, and we sat next to each other, and it was really great chance to get to know her and hear some of what she had going on, and then hear my story. And now here we are. So it's how life works, right? So thank you.
I like really the way your brain works, Aaron. I like the way your brain works. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Okay, sorry, Tate, go ahead.
No, you're good. I love this. This is so exciting. And that's going to be some great growth for you. So I'm excited to talk a little bit about the marketing side of everything, but we'll save that for after some introductions here. So my name is Taylor Aaron, and I'm so happy to meet you. I co-own a pressure washing company in South Florida with my husband. And my background actually came from graphic design originally in college and then branching into marketing. So in the marketing world, I learned that graphic design can be kind of cutthroat. So I wanted to make sure that I could find something that's a passion as well for myself. And that came from helping business owners understand the numbers behind marketing. So learning to look at those numbers, how to analyze them, and how to make better decisions from that. So I'm super excited to say welcome to Fight Club and happy Tuesday, everyone.
Happy Tuesday. And my name's Megan Likes. I'm the founder of Bookkeeping Academy Online. I like to educate and empower small business owners to know their numbers so that they can live more financially rewarding lives. I really resonated with Aaron because when he was first introduced, I think before he even hit the stage, somebody was bragging about his bottom line percentage and a pretty impressive top line gross revenue number. And I just love that when we can lead by example. And then he gave this presentation where he mapped out how he had goal set, like how he had set his intention and then how he had met his intentions over and over and over again. So I am really passionate about that. And I love helping other people do the same. I also own Likes Accounting Company, a full service accounting firm where we do bookkeeping and outsource CFO for services. So if numbers are not your thing and you don't like numbers, you can outsource that to me and my team. And I own a home service business, a window cleaning and gutter cleaning company with my husband, Jeff, in Northern California. And welcome back to Fight Club. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Hey there, Aaron. I'm Michelle. I'm your systems dork over here, and we're going to talk all the systems, how you manage all the people, the money, all the stuff. I am the co-owner of Pink Collars with my fantastic and capable husband, and we had a business that had virtual in the name, and I love the fact that you have a virtual plumber. So we're going to talk about that. But if you want to outsource your front or back office tasks, CSRs, office managers, all those people, the who, not how, that's Pink Collars. So welcome to Fight Club. I'm so excited to meet you.
I was busy over here trying to share. That's why I was looking down if anybody's paying attention. But my name is Martha Woodward, and I am the owner of a maid service in a neighboring state. So I function very much as an absentee owner, co-founder of quality-driven software that measures employee performance, customer satisfaction, and I just help people build happier workplaces. So welcome to Fight Club, everyone. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Tay.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to make sure there's notifications turned off. I'm on a new computer today, so no dinging coming through. But I'm excited, Aaron, to chat with you first about your marketing team. I know you had mentioned that you have 3 marketing management employees. So let's kind of talk about how your team is broken down, what maybe some of their responsibilities are, and how they report back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have Eva, who's our marketing manager. She's been with us now almost 5 years. She came on when we were really just getting rolling to really think about how our brand could get bigger. She has a background in marketing her whole career, advertising. Very fortunate to find her later in her career as she was left a big firm called Ryan Partnerships and was kind of deciding if she even wanted to stay working anymore and or in the area or not. So very fortunate to have her come on the team. Then we brought on a marketing assistant, Megan, who now is the marketing coordinator, who runs most of the AdWord campaign stuff, stays after the organic, like works more on the digital side of the business from that standpoint. And then we just hired now a new marketing assistant, Hannah, who does a lot of the social media stuff now. So she really focuses in more of the social media area of the business. Doing, getting real trendy with TikTok and things along those lines that might be out of my wheelhouse. But so that's kind of the quick layer of it. And then we all come together and collaborate on projects. So we allow them to really work together and collaborate on ideas, branding, reputation, TV ads. They really love going. We hire a TV firm, come and shoot TV, and they help facilitate that and organize in that. They enjoy, they actually get to be in the TV ads, so they love that part, trying to keep them engaged that way. So they do billboards, they manage the billboard, the TV campaigns, all the social media, planning, write the budget for the year with me. So that they have heavy lifting internally for marketing. I really like it being in-house. It allows us to really control and move the things we want to tackle faster and quicker. And we get they really understand our brand because they're living inside of it every day with us.
Absolutely. And it allows to have that personal touch from the interior of the business shine through on those marketing channels. So it sounds like you have a lot of different funnels of marketing we're working on. So we've got billboards, we've got TV ads, we've got social media, we've got Google when you have your SEO organic, your AdWords. We also, I'm assuming you have some marketing you do within the community for branding purposes and reach outs. So we have a lot of different avenues that we have these ladies working on, which is fantastic. You're making sure you're touching your clients in different spots because we all know it takes about 7 to 10 touches for a client to actually come to the business and say, yes, I want to go ahead and start working with Eco Plumbers. So when you are now, because I want to talk now about the transfer. We've heard about the team. We've heard their amazing capabilities and what they're able to achieve for the business. And now we're about to branch out, or I should say you're about to branch out into HVAC. So how are they handling that transition from a fully new from a certain service to a fully new one? Because that sometimes is a very detailed process that a lot of people don't tend to talk about. But marketing plays a huge role in that.
Yeah. So I think our goal is we have about 80,000 customers in our customer base. So, our goal for HVAC is to really use our existing customer base. So we shot some TV ads to bring it to the public. We're going to hit email campaign and outbound calling. And then from there, our service care plan, like a maintenance plan or care plan, as people would call them. We adjusted those to bring on HVAC as a free service for people already members. And then we're just going to really focus on tackling our existing customer base for HVAC instead of trying to go just to the market and look for new lead opportunities. Because, creating new leads are expensive, right? I mean, we all know that, right? It costs a lot of money to find a new customer, right? So we're going to utilize the platform we have and plumbing companies, because plumbing, we get a lot of demand calls already, more than an HVAC company would get. Usually they come seasonal. So we're able to leverage the ongoing demand calls that we're already receiving every single day by offering with the care plan package we have, go ahead and give them the HVAC coverage. And we have a great reputation in the market already as the highest reviewed service company in all of the state, actually. So our customer base is strong. It's been strong. So that's how we're going to tackle that, by just informing them, making phone calls, email campaigns, and doing some overarching. We'll do the high level stuff, a little bit of some TV ad in, a little bit of some radio, a little bit of some billboard, but we don't want it to take the place of our plumbing. All right. We don't want to shift. We don't want to stop spending money and then start to have this shift in where we're advertising, because we believe that the real win here is just to utilize the customer base we already have and not try to spend new money finding new customers when we already have them.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I was hoping that was the direction you were going to go, because when you are launching a new service, that is the number one best way to start to bring that product to your clientele, is reaching out to your past clients, doing outbound calling, like Aaron said, going ahead and adding that option to their maintenance plan. So that way they know they have it. If they need it, they can call them and it's not a problem. So right then and there, you're doing what's best for the client. Yes, it's getting you exposure. It's getting you for them to know that you have this service that you can offer them, but you're also doing it with here's a free option for you to add this maintenance plan as well. So we can better protect your home and make sure we're there for you when you need us. And that alone says a lot to a client and allows them to continue to be that lifetime client, which it sounds like you guys have developed very well over the 20 years in business. So I'm excited to see your growth, and I agree completely. Doing this internal marketing is going to save you a lot of money in the front runner, because I've worked with HVAC companies and the price tag on those Google Ads campaigns are very high cost per click. So I completely commend you for wanting to stick internal right now, because those get pretty crazy.
They do. I mean, right now for plumbing alone, we're spending about $120,000 a month in AdWords, right? So we don't need to add HVAC.
Yeah, and that sounds pretty. That's a healthy budget, in my opinion, for plumbing. And you're going to add HVAC into that at some point, and we're going to see some way higher numbers. I think I had one client who was in the New York area, and he was at about $55, $60 per click. So that's just one click. Client might not even come through, might not even fully call the company, submit a form. So those are some of the things you do have to think about when adding a new service. It's doing that background research on what are the costs going to be for the external marketing to bring in a new client, which Aaron has done. And then from there, leveraging that internal market to make sure that your clients first know, and then the rest of the world can know, because that is putting them first. That's allowing them to be that lifetime client like we were talking about before. So I'm really excited to see this growth. And I have to say, for billboards, we have these ones in Florida and they crack me up every time I see them for HVAC. You'll be driving down like 95 and there's just like this giant billboard that just says your wife is hot. And that's all it says. And this has been like an ongoing, this company has done these for years.
Hilarious.
It's so funny. And now they put a new one out and it's the owner on the billboard and it says, if your wife is hot, call, I can't remember his name. Frank. And it's just like, they've really capitalized on just a billboard. So, and I'm blanking on the AC company name right now, which is really bad, but I've seen them ever since I was a kid. I mean, it's a strong brand. So since Aaron does do billboard marketing, I wanted to bring that option in there for people. You just have to be creative with it, because something like that can stick with you for your entire life. And you'll always know who that company is or recognize those billboards immediately when you see the bright yellow billboard running down the highway. So those are things, when you do get into type of external marketing that Aaron is working with, you can be able to get creative. You can be funny. You can throw some puns in there and be catchy. So that way you're able to bring in additional clientele that might just be driving down the highway.
Yeah,
I would say brand's not that strong though. You don't remember their name, Tay.
I
right?
know.
Like, I feel like they missed the mark. You remember the billboard, but not the name.
Trust me, I know Damien knows it because he is super particular about it, but I just don't, I'm blanking on it right now.
I've seen those billboards before, and the companies here I think Care Heating uses that here, the same type of model. It's I think a network like a Nexstar, somebody's a member of, and they have that as one of their kind of campaigns for HVAC companies. Creative one. It's been used for a pretty long time, and it does capture people.
I've seen them. I actually have seen them on many road trips, and different companies use them. So I think it is definitely that company that's working with them. But I'm excited for your growth, Aaron. I'm excited to see how bringing in this new service allows for your clients to have more of an all-encompassing service with you, which is going to be fantastic. And I want to go ahead and pass you to Megan real quick. But before I do, Megan, have you started your campaign for the Nice Job reviews where you give back to your employees this month?
Yeah, we did. And I noticed yesterday we had like 3 new reviews. And what I love is I don't really pay attention to those emails, but they post automatically to our social media. So how I was getting engagement was people were commenting on our reviews that were happening yesterday. So yes, I'm really excited. I think the team's really excited about it. We onboarded somebody new on the team and they were like, wait, what? You spend your advertising spend on your employees? So Nice Job has made that a really nice system, and quality driven software has made it a nice like segue. You know, we're trying to get them to respond to the survey and then respond to the review request, which feels like a lot after the end of the service. But that integration has been amazing. So thanks, Nice Job.
They're fantastic. And I love how much they cover all the social platforms now, which we were talking about briefly with Aaron. And I mean, it's not just Facebook anymore. They've got Instagram covered. They're able to just put such beautiful work out there that allows your company to shine, allows your employees to shine, which I absolutely love. So as far as talking about Nice Job, they are a review company that you are able to automate, send to your clients after the job is completed. And you can even run giveaways and things of that sort for your employees to make it fun and make it engaging for them. So that way they really want to push that review like Megan's talking about. So if you are looking to bring in Nice Job as one of your software vendors, you can go to getnicejob.com and you can use code FC4B for a discount code from Fight Club for Business.
I love it. And 2 follow-up thoughts. One lady, like apparently we have one technician that's pushing it so much, Jillian, that like this lady called to leave her review because Jillian said she needed a review so she could get her tip. And so this woman like called on the phone back to the office and we're like, oh, that's not really how reviews work, but that's really sweet and awesome. Good job, Jillian, for pushing it. And then the second thing is like Aaron said, he's the highest ranked company in his area. And what we've noticed is that's made our recruiting efforts easier. Like it makes people Google you before they come to an interview, and it makes us look more legit. Like we're not a fly-by-night guy with a squeegee kind of company. So Nice Job has been working really well with our internal marketing as well. Awesome. So thanks, Nice Job. You rock. Aaron, I always do this. I have 3 things I want to talk to you about, and we only have like 5 minutes. And I thought we were going to talk about this one thing, and then you said this other thing. And okay, so help me.
All right.
I did not know about the HVAC thing. I did not know that this was coming down the pipeline. So that is super exciting. I think it's like a golden idea. I mean, you're guaranteed to kill it. So we could talk about average tickets because I have a feeling that's going to be a very different experience once you add on HVAC services to your existing services. So we can talk about average tickets. I wanted to talk about your origin story because I just feel like it's so inspiring. This idea of like being a very, very good technician, trying, failing. And then the unique part is like picking yourself back up and doing it again and then killing it. We have to talk about that at some point. We're going to sneak it in. And then I also was like, you mentioned Nexstar. I know that you love your mastermind group. And I know that you're really good at goal setting. There's been twice in my life when I've sat in the audience of a presentation and somebody has put up their goal setting and I've just been like, oh my God, I need to be their friend because that's so cool how your brain works. So I thought we could talk about that too. So you have to choose one of these 3 things. So
well, the HVAC one is something new. So I think we can move past that. I will say one thing for people that are looking to add trade line services is we waited until we felt we owned a market share enough that allowed us the right to add in another line service. So our goal was to try to get over 10% to 15% market share of what we already did before we added something else. Because I've seen people try to add second, services or trade lines depending, and it gets you get unfocused, right? So we wanted to get plumbing, own the market to about 15% was kind of our goal. We felt like we were going to hit 15% of market share by this year. By the end of next year, into next year. So we went ahead and started adding HVAC. And yeah, HVAC average sale and tickets are going to be big in general. So there's great opportunity there, and we look forward to doing that. So we'll see where that takes us into next year. But I think just for people's mindset is not always adding more services is always the ideal solution right away, right?
Well, and the other comment there that we did not touch on, but is important to touch on, is you did this growth in one market. You know, I think usually in window cleaning or in pressure washing, they say like build the $1 million company and then open the next location and build another $1 million company. And you kind of like turn that on your head. And you're like, no, I'm going to build a $30 million company and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get as much out of it as I can until I get to 15% market share. Right. And then I'm just going to grow up bigger in the same market. So you haven't been distracted by new locations. You haven't been distracted by extra things. I know you mentioned you are going into Dayton. So
yeah,
you know,
which we have. But yeah, those are some of the newer things, and that's part of the next step. But so I just kind of want to throw that out there. Hopefully, get people to think that not always adding a second service line or something is the solution. Just get the one you have in line first, and whatever that market share is or whatever that number is, hit that and then move. And then
nail it and scale it, right?
Yeah. So
okay,
because I've seen that a lot in even our industry. Guys will start a plumbing, they'll get plumbing to like 3 million, then they want to add HVAC, and then they add electrical, and then they're running around and they don't go anywhere with any of them, and they pretty much stay all in the same place, and they're frustrated because they're all the same, but they're so different in their own way. So, but in my story, I'm happy to share the story. Talk about goals wherever you'd like to go, Megan. It's your show.
We got 4 minutes, so we have to be quick. Let's go into the goal setting, because I think this 30 million this year, 40 million next year. First of all, like, how did you even factor in adding a new service into next year's goal, and have you? And then let's back up. We can maybe touch on the origin story. So let's back up to when you first set the goal. So give the highlight. First business, second business, and then your statement of purpose, like getting really intentional. Let's just walk our listeners through that process for you.
So I'll do the best I can here in 4 minutes.
Okay, you can do it. I believe in you. Just highlights.
So I guess the point is, I'm a plumber by trade. I stated that earlier. Right out of high school, I got into trades. Didn't know anything about plumbing, no family, nothing. Got my master's plumber's license, as they called it, by the age of 23. Started a plumbing business that was wasn't mostly all construction based in the early 2000s with my buddy John. Excuse me. We grew it to around $3 million. It was construction only. Syntex Homes was our biggest account. As the market started to spin down in 2006 into 2007, they started pulling out of the market. We started losing all of that business, and forced us into a bankruptcy. Right. We tried to figure out how to get through it. Weren't able to make it happen. And that's what happened. Right. We were really good plumbers. We knew how to plumb really well. We were good at getting plumbing done. But as we know, the story of the book E-Myth, if anybody's ever read it, right, it's technician, manager to entrepreneur, probably stayed technician, tried to and skip manager, maybe tried to be entrepreneur in the middle there. And it was a lesson learned. It drove us into bankruptcy. I lost people's jobs. I lost my house. I lost my car. I mean, I lost everything. And as a single dad, my son was about 3 years old at the time, and ended up at my mom's house sleeping on the couch. Right. So, and decided this wasn't going to be the life I was going to live. And I promised my son that, which I know, Megan, you've heard the story from the presentation, but and got up and got to work. Now, borrowed $50, opened up a bank account with my sister and my service manager, Braun, who I also went to high school with. And we got to work and started trying to build a new service business. And that was 15 years ago. And here we are today. And a lot of that was driven off of just, goal setting, recognizing and having a purpose, right? Of why was I going to do this? Well, one of the purposes was my son, right? Like, I'm going to make something. We're not going to live this life. It's not going to be a life of nothing and struggles. I already lived that my whole childhood, right? And I'm not going to do it again. And he wasn't going to do it. And was fortunate enough to have that as my leverage, and my own being, I think, is just a naturally driven person, and had to overcome a lot of struggles along the way to make that happen. But, I think that was my path. That was what I guess, the universe gave me, and this is what I had to deal with. And this is what we did. So where we are today, we still have a long ways to go from our goals. But I read the book Think and Grow Rich, which I shared with you, Megan. I think you said you started reading it.
I finished it in a week. It was amazing. I mean, it was and it's from the 30s. I cannot believe how timeless it is. So we'll definitely add that to the show notes. I mean, it was super helpful. But like, when you say you set your goal, sorry, I'm interrupting. I know you're going to get into your statement of purpose, but like the 40 million, is that a goal you set this year? Or is that a goal you set 3 years ago? Is that a goal you set 5 years ago?
So 3 years. So we do things, if anybody's familiar with the book Traction, but it's an EOS traction. So we use traction as our EOS as somewhat of our operating system. And what it does is it sets the 10-year, which would be 10-year goal out, would I guess be more like good to great, your big hairy ferocious goal, right? Kind of idea. That was our big one, is 100 million. I set that out there a long time ago. And then we come back down, you start setting
with 30% net. It's
yeah,
not just
30%.
He doesn't just want 100 million in gross. He wants 30% net margin. That's insane. Keep going.
We'll try. I don't know. I think we deserve it in our industry, right? So we can give back and do stuff. But and then from there, it's really thinking in 3 and 1 years, right? Really thinking 3 year and then 1 year. So we always have a 3-year plan and a 1-year plan, and we share that with the whole company. Every year we roll it out. We have to say, here's our 3-year. Everything we're doing in this 1 year should equal up to getting us to our 3-year plan. And, we have rhyme or reason behind that, between market growth, what we think is available, how many trucks, what investments can we make, how many people can we add to the team. I mean, there's a little bit more of a science to it, but also at the same time, there's a little bit of just a vision to it, right? Got to be able to put it out there, write it down and own it, and then move forward towards it. So everything we do is in 3 and 1 year plans. So like now our new 3-year is, our previous 3-year was 44 million. We're going to actually go for that now next year. So it moved a year. So now our 3 years, 65 million. So when we keep just using revenue from a business standpoint, there's obviously a lot more involved in that than just that. But that's
you mean don't just choose like a really big round number and like throw it on a paper and then like throw darts at the wall. That's not what you do. You work backwards into it. Okay, good. I like that. So if you're sitting there listening to this and you have a $100,000 company, it doesn't necessarily work where you're like, it's going to be a $5 million company next year, right? But it could be a $5 million next year. If you work the plan, if you write down how you're going to get there, if you write down how many technicians do you need, if you write down how many leads do you need, if you write down how much you're going to spend on advertising, and you write down how many vehicles do you need on the road, like you can map out where you want to go as a company. What's that? It's early. My math brain is not on. What's the growth rate that you're trending at, Aaron?
Well, 30%? Previous year we did 70%. This year will be at 40%. And then next year's goal would be about 40%.
So he's doing 30 to 40% growth rate. Sounds like last year was an anomaly. Hopefully, like many home service.
2020 was pandemic. We grew 73%.
And you're not even working out of Texas, right? That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The plumbers in Texas killed it. Yeah. So 70% through
we were
COVID.
We were very blessed during that time, for sure.
Yeah. So, but 30 to 40% growth rate is what he's targeting for. And I feel like you wrote it down. It was so cool during his presentation. He actually put up the slides of what he wrote down. He wrote it down and then he kept coming back to it. It wasn't like something you wrote once and it died. You wrote it and you kept coming back to it and then you made it happen. You just executed the plan. And I find that so inspiring that you picked yourself back up and here we are 15 years later. And that was helpful. So hopefully somebody out there who's looking at 2022 can find some inspiration in that. Just write it out and start dreaming big. And it sounds like, Aaron, you've got a couple of good people on your team that you use to help with that exercise. And the other thing I loved is your why. He remembers his why. His why comes up constantly. We got to meet Chase, which was so cool. And you're just making it happen. So thanks for sharing. I'm going to pass you to Michelle. She's going to talk to you about systems.
All right.
I'm so excited. Typically, Aaron, this is where I jump into things like CRMs or communication or all of that, but I'm completely driving this bus off the road today. And I want to talk to you about your offers page on your website. I'm 100% dorking out about it because to me, it looks like you've set up a pick off the shelf system for your clients, for your customers, and it looks like self-serve solutions. Is that what I'm seeing? Like, is that what's happening here on your website?
Yeah. So some of our website would do that from the in-pop ads that we have. Basically, this is what I want. And I'd like to, buy this service. We also have trained from a sales process is, allowing the customer to make the selections, right? From warranties down and offers down. So if that's what you're asking, yeah, like a lot of that is based upon stepping stones for the customer and letting them make those selections instead of it just being very wild west out there, which we've seen from sales organization or home service or sales organizations where people go out and they just shoot from the hip, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's just because we want to create a consistent system, as you said,
Yeah,
consistent
exactly.
for our customer and something they can expect over and over. And I think that's it's hard sometimes in plumbing because there's so many variables that are going on, but we've got it down pretty good, and our team does an excellent job. So hopefully that answers some of the question there.
What data did you use to kind of come up with your pricing? Because that's where everybody's mind is going to go, right? They're like, how can you possibly put a number to this without seeing it? So what data did you use, and like how long did you collect that data to kind of come up with that pricing?
Well, first thing I want to tell everybody is like, yes, there's a market, and the market does only allow for so much, but the reality is like your price is your price.
Yeah.
So, you have to make your price, and your price has to fit you and your business that you believe can add the most value to you and your company, right? Yeah. And whatever you think that net profit number needs to be, so you can grow, take care of your team members, take care of your customers. Like that's the most important. Yes, people will have prices in the market at all different types of price points. It just depends on what you're going to deliver. I mean, there's hotels that are $80 a night, and there's hotels that are $500 a night, right? And they both have a bed in them.
That's right.
So, but the experience is different. So if you are going to price yourself at a higher level, make sure you deliver on the experience. And I think that's really all it boils down to, is just add more value than somebody else. And competition is going to always exist from a price point. I mean, we obviously have people that do the same work we do at a less of a price, but we're still growing and scaling and collecting more customers and taking care of more people than them. So I think being scared of the price is a thing that happens from people that come from the trades, I guess, or home service. Is we usually say, well, I can do this work. Why would somebody pay $1,000 to do it? Right. I wouldn't pay $1,000. It's like, well, that's because it's not you, right? Would you pay $1,000 for a doctor to do something for you? Right. Like, so I think it's just kind of getting out of their own mind and out of their own way and realizing that they're worth it. Like, you're worth it. You're worth every dollar you get paid for what you do every single day. Everybody's worth it. And nobody should run a business that doesn't earn enough money to take care of themselves, their family, and the people that work there. It's just not right. It's not fair. And this shouldn't exist.
I love that. I love that. Preach it, Aaron. I love it. Okay. I love seeing how you also have kind of diverted the communication for your internal team, meaning your CSRs get to respond to customers based on this sort of choose your own adventure page is what I'm going to call it, your offer page. So when you click on these offers, you have all of these different discounts or, payment methods, all of that. You click on the schedule service, right? So you take an action step. There's a call to action button, and it's beautiful. You give the customer the choice. You can call us right now, or you can fill this form out and we'll chase you. How do you see that conversion helping by putting this kind of communication system in front of customer?
Well, actually, I've seen online booking take off pretty good for us. So one of my goals was to get to about 50% of our calls to be booked online. I think it's a natural behavior. People are just not used to it in maybe home service quite yet. But I mean, if you think about it, when's the last time you called to book a flight?
Yeah,
right.
You don't.
Like, so long ago, a hotel, but those are all things we used to do, right? Like even if it was an emergency, you still just book it online, right? And I think you can see it's more and more. And the thing is the home service just wasn't offering as much. And I think as we move forward, we'll see more and more online booking, which I think is very convenient, allows the customer to select the times. We've seen that. I think we're booking somewhere around 20% maybe right now.
Wow.
Online bookings, which is nice. It just goes right on the schedule. It goes right into the system. And, it's very easy. You don't have to have, pay for CSRs to answer the phone. It's convenient for other
100%.
people. So that, or people can fill out a form and ask questions, or they can call right now if they really feel it's demand and they need to get them to call. So just trying to let the customer select the best path they want to go. A lot of times it was just call, right? Well, then if we didn't answer, what happened? Or what if somebody didn't really want to call? I mean, some people literally just don't want to talk to people.
It's true. It's true. And we have one of those in our group. I don't know if you see her.
That's how they're going to go up. So, I mean, it's fine. So it's like, that's fine. They don't really want to have to go into all this detail, do stuff. They just want to fill out the stuff online, click on and move on and schedule their appointment. So trying to find ways to just make it easier. I think the one thing we always have to think about, and we've gone through this a little bit ourselves, is you got to make it easy to do business with you, right? A lot of times we get into these things where we keep wanting to put up all these roadblocks, like, well, don't have them do that because this happens. Well, don't do that, this. And then all of a sudden you realize you built all these roadblocks to do business with you. It's like, now it's harder for people to do business. You want to grow your business, but you made all these roadblocks because one time one customer did this or one customer did that. And you get focused on the 1%, right? The 1% of people.
True.
And then it really slows down that flow. It's like having a bridge and then I'm closing down 4 of the lanes. There's one lane open now. Like now I expect the traffic to flow through this bridge better when it's not going to happen. Right. So I think that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to streamline as much as we can to make it as easy to do business, whether that's selecting an offer, whether it's understanding finance in advance, understanding the average monthly payment of something before you purchase it, calling the call center to book by prioritizing as an emergency or not, online booking, filling out a form, chatting, using the chat service, whatever it is, making your service readily available and easier to use.
I'm obsessed. Okay. So $30 million is a big monster to manage, right? Tell me what CRM you're using, because our listeners are going to want to know. What are you using to manhandle all of this data and all of this information every day?
Well, I'm using pretty much the new industry kind of standard over the last Service Titan.
Okay.
So
awesome.
You've probably heard that, right? Service Titan.
Are.
We've been on Service Titan, I think, 8 years now. So
Fantastic.
we're part of, like, in Service Titan years, that's like dog years. So it's like we've been with them for like 20 years now. But yeah, we use Service Titan. That's been our main CRM that we utilize. They've been great. We've grown with them, and they do everything. The call center, we book the calls, we dispatch through them. We manage all of our field presentations, everything. So I mean, could imagine that anybody could use it in any industry for the same thing. So that's been great. And our accounting, we just switched over to Intact, just due to size now. So we moved from QuickBooks. Our QuickBook files are breaking.
You broke QuickBooks. You're too big. You broke QuickBooks.
I don't know about that, but it just happens at some point. They just start to break. QuickBooks is, met for small business, and you start to move into medium. So we're learning new about Intact as our accounting software. And then we use we have a CTO on team that we use that builds other data reports for us. Through Google Studio. We have a lot of custom stuff that we use through Google Studio to report.
I love it. Well, those people are so important. It's always the who, not how, right? So I'm going to pass you off to Martha so you can keep talking about your awesome people that are making this whole thing work. Thanks so much, Aaron. Good to talk to you.
Okay, Aaron, let's talk people. So how many technicians do you have to run that size of business? I'm just not familiar with the plumbing trade.
So we look at about revenue per head, about 200,000 revenue per head as we think about like total team averaging typically. But right now we're around 190 team members on the team. We have over 100 right now. I think we just got more trucks. I think we're about 115 trucks right now.
Okay.
So right now we have 20 students graduating. We have our own trade school.
I was wondering, that was my next question is, where are you getting the people? And I did see something on your website about your university, but I wasn't sure if that was after they got out of trade school and then this was further training, or you're just taking people from ground level and putting them through your own training. Yeah.
So we're one of our goals long term, and mine was, but the company was to build a trade school and build a way to give back to the trade. I mean, the trade has given so much to me. It gave me an opportunity that I'd never have. And I think as I talk to the tradesmen and tradespeople, I should say now, in our industry, it's like, how do you give back? Well, the best way we can give back is build our own trade school and teach people to trade so that they can go keep the trade going and go earn a good living and take care of people. So right now our class is 20 people every 16 weeks. So it's a pretty accelerated class. And we pay them while they're going through the program, and they're guaranteed a job here because they are employed here. with us while they're going, and they get a truck and they're able to start getting out on the road and start taking care of people and helping people in our community and earning for themselves within about 16 to 18 weeks.
Wow. That's a really interesting concept. Because they're used to going to these trade schools and paying the trade schools. So do you have people beating down your door to get in your trade school?
Well, we've done it. We've had our first year down and it's been pretty successful. We've learned obviously a lot along the way, and we do have people that have been involved. I think as we start to see the success of the students that become technicians and hear more about it and people hear more about it, it'll become obviously more popular. I think right now we just made a deal with Hilliard Schools system here that we're going to be part of their apprenticeship program, that they're going to start sending students from high school to our program.
Yeah.
So we're working with them right now, and our HR manager, who's my sister also, has really just crushed it with that, really working that relationship, and really has done a great job. Rosalind, I got to give her the props on that one. She's been really after it. We've been fortunate enough that our dean, we call him the dean because we call it Eco University, Don. He was a sergeant major in the military for 22 years, and then he was a teacher at Southwestern City Schools, which is another school system here in the Columbus area, for 20 years, and he's the one that runs our facility. So he's got a lot of relationships too. So we got some of the right people doing stuff for us. So it's exciting. We actually have graduation on Friday. We graduate on Friday. We have all of them come. We give them plaques. We celebrate. We have a big breakfast. We have all the trainers come. All the managers come. Everybody comes. This will be our our third graduating class. So it's fun. It's exciting, and it's really life changing for a lot of people. I mean, they're going to go from the opportunity of trying to get by and not have maybe a skill trade or a trade, to an opportunity to be earning $60,000 to $100,000 a year for their families and themselves within the next 18 to 24 months once they get up to speed and go. So it's really a great life changing opportunity, and it's a great way for us to get back to the trades.
So
and
cool.
I mean, and it benefits our business. I mean, honestly too, right? I mean, it does. I mean, there's no secret. It benefits our business, but it also, I think it's really great to be able to create more tradespeople because there's such a shortage already.
Right. Yeah. You've found a solution to maybe not a complete solution, but you certainly have found a creative way to fix that recruiting problem that we all have. And I've got a very good friend who has a large cleaning business in your area. I'm going to tell him, hey, maybe their spouses are looking for work, but that's a really cool program. I'm in awe about your goals and your numbers, but I really love this. I think this is so cool, and what a way to make a difference in people's lives. So I noticed that you have won the top workplace award for at least the last couple of years. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And then what things do you do that get you that prize? Because you're in a fairly substantial area. I mean, it's not New York City, but it's still a large area.
Yeah. we are. Columbus is actually the 15th largest city in the country. So it's not,
I didn't know that.
Not a small place. People don't really know that usually. But I think it's because we give away Dyson hair blow dryers and gifts. I think that's the reason why.
I was going to say,
and TVs and that stuff.
Is that the secret to your nice hair? Is that the secret?
Yes,
The Dyson hair blow dryer?
I actually don't have one. Everybody else has one. I don't have one. I should get one.
Oh, man.
But no, I'm joking, because we do parties. We like to have fun like everybody. I mean, it's not anything new. Culture is important. Engaging with your team. It's been challenging. We do a summer party. We rent out a big farm, and we have food trucks come, and then we have beer trucks come, and then we things for kids to play on, and we have bull riding and the jousting things, and then we do raffle giveaways. And this year was funny. I grabbed the raffle ticket up, and they came up, and they're holding this blow dryer, says Dyson on it. I was like, how much is that thing? They're like $500. I was like, we're giving a $500 blow dryer away. I was like, wow. I said, Eco Plumbers has really became bougie, hasn't it? So here we are. And then I pulled the ticket, and one of the guys that won it, he was walking up and he's bald. I was like, you literally, what is he shaved his head? But he's got the beard. He's been with us, Travis. I was like, you put your ticket in? He's like, for the beard, man. I was like, oh man. But I think it's just, having fun, trying to engage people. We do that. We do an annual party too. And then other things along the way. We have food trucks come. We have challenges. We done rooster weeks. We have our team help us with Mid-Ohio Food Bank. So a lot of things that we also do from charity standpoints too. Nationwide Children's Hospital. We get our team involved in all types of areas. So it's an ongoing everyday effort, right? It's just not one party a year or a party here. It's always something to keep people engaged.
Rooster weeks. What is that?
So Roosters is it's like a B-dubs here. Like it's guys, the people love Roosters here. Okay. So it's like we just would open up. So we just say or they could just go to Roosters anytime during the week, anytime they can go and order anything they want at Roosters all week long. Anybody from the field and team. So things like that we've done, and actually we're getting ready to do one of those again right now. So just little things that you can just throw in. We do spin to wins. We have raffles, just tons of different stuff. You just have to stay active, and it becomes harder as the company becomes bigger. That's for sure. It's used to be able to do it. I used to be able to do it in smaller scale, and as the company scales, like now you need department managers to do it, and you need QCs to be in front of it, and ops managers and other people. But you just got to stay active. Like that's really what it boils down to. And I noticed one time there was a little bit of time where I wasn't so active in the culture. I could feel was diving a should bit because of the growth and me, and we weren't being as active with it because it just kind of felt like, well, it's really hard to do with so many people. Should we just not do it anymore? Blah, blah, blah. Told ourselves all that story crap. Right. And then we started to feel it. Like I could feel it. It just was not, you could go around and talk to people and you get on the floor. It just felt like things were getting out. And then just like, look, we just got to, even if it's not perfect, just do it.
Yeah.
And then we just started feeling the momentum build back. And since then it's been better. And I think also as a leader, just being authentic. Like I made a video just a couple of weeks ago and just shared some of the struggles I went through this last year in leadership and growth, and where I fell short for the team and for the organization, and where I think I need to focus my attention to grow better and become better. I've never ran a company at this size, and I really truly appreciate them trusting their careers and their families with, to me and to this organization, and just telling them the things I'm going to work on to become better. And I think people just want to hear from the leader authentically. Also, it's important. Not like weak, like you're not going to move forward weakness, like just this is where I'm at. And this is what I'm doing too. And I think the more that you can do that is even better for culture.
Yeah.
So good.
Brene Brown, which I'm not a huge fan of hers, but I like her. That's one of the things that she definitely became famous with is vulnerability. And every now and then I will talk to people in my Culture First group about being vulnerable with your team, and sometimes even making a conscious effort to be vulnerable, because that's not really in most of our DNA when we're relating with our team. And but why it is important is because it connects you as another human being, not just the boss. And so I do commend you for that. And I agree that keeping your culture alive is not a quarterly event. And I think people have a hard time. I mean, understandably so, but everyone has a hard time with that. And when they come and say, but it's not working, and I'm like, well, what are you doing to work it? It's just, you can't throw in a party here and then 6 months later another party, and then put a stamp on it that, yep, there's my company culture. So that's really good. And I very much encourage people that is part of your stats, is that you have a section on your employee retention, and I use lead and lag measures, but
Yeah.
that you have all those lead measures that you have to do to retain those employees. So that's really cool. Thanks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that you said it's a feeling. Like, I think that that's something that we've learned from Martha, is that our culture is a feeling, and that as owners, it makes it more fun to show up for our people when we have a strong culture. So, Aaron, I love that you said you could actually like feel the pulse on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's a good gut check when it comes to culture.
Yeah, I think people have to have that intuition. They have to have that feel. You got to understand, like, culture is a hard thing to measure all the time, right? There's statistics for it, like retention, obviously, and satisfaction scores and winning the best place to work. But it's also not like a typical KPI. Like, was conversion there this week? Like those things are there. Like, it's an everyday working culture with your team, right? So, and it's easy to get lost. It's one of the easiest things to lose as you start to scale. It really is. I'll be first one to tell you it is. It's been one of those things, and we've tried to do it. One of our goals was always to, as we even talked about into the future, was always, even as the bigger we get, the goal would be when you get bigger, you get smaller. By that means is that still keeping some of this, you got to keep the small feel, the family feel, the department. Just because now the company's bigger doesn't mean that each department and each team can't operate like its own small family business within a large business, right? And we've got to, we're still trying to learn that and figure that out. But I think our team overall is doing a pretty good job, or we wouldn't be scaling the way we have.
Absolutely. Right. So, okay, Tay, help us
wrap up. Well, we're going to wrap up with some homework. So, Aaron, you're more than welcome, after we all go through our pieces of homework, to assign some homework yourself. Our listeners, we do just ask that you only pick one piece of homework that spoke to you this week. And remember that you do have an accountability group. We have our Fight Club for Business private group that you can be able to join and be able to ask any of us for help with the homework that you did end up choosing. So again, just please pick one. And for marketing homework, I want, if any listeners out there are focusing on potentially adding a new service, I want you to take a look at your entire market. What's the word I'm looking for? I had my notes here and now I lost them. Okay, there we go. Your ownership of the market itself. So how much of the market percentage do you actually own at this time? And then from there, if you are wanting to add that service, I want you to break down how you're going to reach out to your internal market through your marketing avenues you currently have. So not adding anything new, not doing anything different on the marketing, just focusing solely on the internal clients you have at the moment, the marketing avenues you are using at the moment, and how you can utilize both to show that new service to your clients. So that's going to be your marketing homework for this week. Sorry, Megan.
No, it's okay. I'm on one screen, so I'm like toggling. Okay, so I think I got that marketing homework in the chat there. For your finance homework, we're going to do goal setting again. I think we talked about this last week with Chris, but I want you to really take some time. December is the month that we get to start thinking about our New Year's resolutions, right? We get to start thinking about how we've just wrapped up, hopefully, a pretty epic year for you and your team, and you're headed into your next year. And I want you to write down some goals on a piece of paper. If you need inspiration, Aaron recommended checking out Traction for setting that 10-year goal and then breaking it down into 3-year goals and 1-year goals. So I just want you to think about Aaron, when he gave his presentation, he said he just had in his head 100 million. Like, that was just stuck in his head. That was his big, hairy, audacious goal at 30% net. And so I'm going to encourage you to think of a big, hairy, audacious goal and then break it down into a 3-year goal and a 1-year goal. And you don't have to plan out every avenue of your company. Maybe the goal is, I loved the retention metric, Martha. Maybe the goal is like, next year I'm going to retain this many team members. Or next year, I'm going to recruit this many team members, right? It doesn't have to be revenue. Revenue just tends to be the easiest and the sexiest. But choose a goal, write it down, and let's try and make it happen over the next year. We can look back to that goal, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, until that goal becomes a reality. And yeah, that's going to be your finance homework this week, is to write down some actual, tangible, feel-good goals.
Awesome. And your systems homework is to, what did we call it? Copy, steal, copy, paste. What did we call it earlier? Robin
Duplicate, R&D.
Robin Duplicate. Wasn't that Chris Hunter last week? Chris Hunter
Yeah.
said that, and he was actually on, Aaron. So you're following up Chris Hunter from Service Titan. It's so funny that
I know
happened.
Chris. I know Chris.
Yeah, he's so awesome. So my systems homework is to go onto your website and actually Robin Duplicate. Look at this offers page as a system in your business. How can it help divert some of that overwhelming communication to your CSRs, to your customer service folks? How can it get people to choose their own adventure with your company and really open up that option for your customers? So I'm going to put the link to Aaron's website, and then I really want you to look at it and see what you can use in your business to rob and duplicate from him, because it's a great, great, great system that I absolutely love. So that's your homework this week for systems.
All right. So I want you to take your pulse of your company culture. So the feeling that you get from your company culture. And really all I want you to do is it poor, fair, good, excellent? You know, that's just quantify it that way. And it is a feeling. It is one of those, I walk in to a staff meeting and I feel warm and fuzzy. I feel a lot of tension. You know, there's a feeling in the air if you're perceptive. And so I want you to take that pulse and then figure out, are you satisfied with that? And if not, where are the holes and what do you need to fix? So that's your homework for people.
Awesome.
And Aaron, if you have homework, you can.
I got homework.
All right, you give it to him.
All right. Find your why, right? Like everybody needs a why. Why are you getting up every day? Why are you running this business? What do you want from it? Like, what do you want from it for yourself? What are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? You know, what does that mean to you? You know, when you wake up and you think about your business and you think about your future, does it give you a little tear in your eye? Do you feel a little emotional about it? Do you feel energy for it? You know, do you feel excited about it? Do you feel like anything that comes your way today, you're going to figure out how to overcome it, right? Like figure out what that why is, write it down, own it. And I think a number is good. The number is good on the business. Revenues are always language. It doesn't matter if it's 1 million or 100 million, right? You got to own something. That's the thing I realized too, from a business standpoint is like, you got to own it. Like if it's $1 million, then own $1 million. If it's 100 million, own $100 million, and then figure out all the skills and all the things that you need to become to grow into that number, right? Because that's what it comes down to. But none of it matters if you don't have your why. If you don't have your why behind it, you got to have a why. Why are you doing it? What are you doing it for? Whether it's to grow and achieve goals for other people on your team, whether it's to build wealth for your family one day, whatever it is, just know what it is so you can move forward and work towards it every day. And if you have that, you can overachieve anything. And I think I mentioned this in the presentation is just think about things this way, is like, first thing is go get knowledge. You got to get the knowledge of what you're doing. Second one is you got to create a strategy. You got to have the strategy. And then last, which is always the hardest, is you got to learn how to execute on it. So if you can follow those three things, you'll be pretty damn successful.
Oh,
That's amazing.
beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Aaron,
we don't even need a quote of the week after that.
I know.
Sorry,
After
Michelle,
that
we
one,
do,
I
but
know,
like
I'm blown away.
Aaron Gaynor, mic drop, done.
I'm blown away. Aaron, we always ask our guests, how can people reach out to you? What's the best method? Is it LinkedIn, email? How can we grab you if we need you?
LinkedIn.
Okay.
You can go to LinkedIn, or my email is aaron@ecoplumbers.com.
Looky there. He's given up the goods, people. So if you need anything, you know how to find him. Yeah. Awesome. And we do
Thank you so much for having me on here today, by the way. This was
You're
cool.
so welcome. I have learned so much, and I will absolutely share that while you were talking, I was on LinkedIn connecting to you, connecting to your sister. I'm already wanting to know you guys more. So I'm already stalking you. So that's great.
Awesome.
And we do have a quote of the week, and it is, I think, very timely with what you said today and how you finished, that setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. And our big, tall, loud friend, Tony Robbins, set that one. So thank you so much again, Aaron, for having the time and taking the space to spend some time with us. We really appreciate it. And everybody out there, just keep fighting for your business. Go out there and kill it. We're almost done with 2021 and we can finish strong. So everybody have a great day. And thank you, Aaron.
Go
Thank you.
fight.
Aaron.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, go fight. Bye guys.